The mathematics of prophecy, the probability of 8. In the mid-20th century, Professor Peter Stoner and his mathematics classes set out to conduct a forensic audit of chance. They wanted to know the statistical probability of one man fulfilling just a handful of Old Testament Messianic prophecies by sheer accident. They began with a baseline of only 8 specific prophecies, events such as being born in Bethlehem, being betrayed for 30 pieces of silver, and the specific method of death by crucifixion. The conclusion was staggering. The probability of one person fulfilling these 8 markers by chance is 1 in 10 to the power 17. To visualize 10 to the power 17, imagine taking that many silver dollars and laying them across the entire state of Texas. They would cover the state 2 feet deep. Now imagine marking just one of those silver dollars, stirring the entire mass and blindfolding a man. The odds of that man walking across the state and picking the marked coin on his very first try are the same as the odds of Jesus fulfilling those 8 prophecies by chance. The universal atom audit. When the audit expands to 48 prophecies, we move from planetary scales to cosmic scales. The probability of one person fulfilling 48 specific prophecies by chance is 1 in 10 to the power 157. To understand the magnitude of this number, consider that physicists estimate there are between 10 to the power 80 and 10 to the power 82 atoms in the entire observable universe. Because 10 to the power 157 is nearly the square of the total number of atoms in existence, the analogy shifts. Imagine marking one specific atom in the universe, placing a blindfolded man in a random location, and having him pick the correct atom on the first attempt. Then you return that atom, shake up the entire universe, and ask him to pick that exact same atom a second time in a row. Scholars have identified over 300 distinct prophecies, allusions, and types in the Old Testament that point to the Messiah. Mathematically, the fulfillment of all 300 plus by Jesus is practically incalculable. The triumphal entry, to the exact day. The precision of these prophecies extends beyond general events into exact temporal markers. In Daniel 9:24-27, the 70 weeks prophecy provides a countdown to the arrival of the Messiah. The prophecy states that from the issuing of the decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince comes, there would be 69 weeks, or blocks of 7 years. This equals 483 biblical years. Using the standard prophetic year of 360 days, the calculation is exactly 173,880 days. The historical starting point is March 14, 445 BC, when King Artaxerxes issued the decree to rebuild Jerusalem's walls. Counting forward exactly 173,880 days lands precisely on April 6, 32 AD. This is the identified day of the triumphal entry, when Jesus rode into Jerusalem on a donkey and allowed himself to be publicly declared king. The rebirth of Israel. To the exact day. The mathematical precision of the biblical text reaches into modern history with the rebirth of the state of Israel. Using a combination of Ezekiel 4 and the 7-fold multiplier of judgment found in Leviticus 26, the timeline is mathematically locked. Ezekiel was told to bear the iniquity of Israel for 430 years. After subtracting the 70 years of the Babylonian captivity, 360 years of judgment remained. Because of a lack of national repentance, the law in Leviticus required that remaining punishment be multiplied by 7. 360 years multiplied by 7 equals 2,520 biblical years. At 360 days per prophetic year, this results in 907,200 days. Counting forward exactly 907,200 days from the end of the Babylonian captivity in the spring of 536 BC and adjusting for leap years and the BC to AD transition, the calculation lands precisely on May 14, 1948. This is the exact day the modern state of Israel declared its independence, ending a nearly 2,000-year exile. The data suggests that the fulfillment of these prophecies is not a matter of religious interpretation but of mathematical certainty. The convergence of these numbers indicates a sovereign architecture that exists outside the constraints of chance.